guys, Natasha Tessier here. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I help people like you every single day relocate to the great city of Houston, Texas. Born and raised here, I know everything there is to know about this city and the suburbs. I would love to help you on your journey. Please hit that subscribe button. Today, I'm going to talk about the 10 things that you need to know before relocating to Houston, Texas. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It would help me if you'd hit the subscribe button and let me know where you're from. I always want to know where people are watching from. Would love to get to know you and what is bringing you to my channel. And then also, if you ring that little bell, it'll notify you every time I post. I usually post Sunday evenings. So a couple things that we've changed. We have a new Google form that you can fill out if you're interested in purchasing a home here in Texas. That will come in and we will set up a Zoom. We are doing most of our Zooms right now on Wednesdays. We've blocked the whole day just to talk to people like you and learn about your journey. However, if that day doesn't work, we can work something else out, no worries. So today I want to talk about the 10 things that you need to know before moving here. And Beryl just happened, Hurricane Beryl. And I'm sure the news is talking about how we are all dying here because that's what they do. They show the same clips over and over. When it floods, it's the same neighborhoods over and over. I've sold almost 300 homes. I've never sold a flooded home. None of the homes that I've sold have flooded. So that is very important to think about the media and how they are portraying Houston. I'm sure with Hurricane Beryl, yes, we lost power. We lost it for 24 hours. Most people, it was 48 hours. You know, it was a little bit of a pain. It was windy, but I'm sure that they are talking about still, it's been 5 days now. Everybody that I know has power. There are a few unfortunate people I've seen on Facebook where, you know, a tree fell and hit their house, but I don't know anyone. These are like friends of friends. But has it happened? Yes. Just like any natural disaster is, you know, I mean, it happened on a Monday. We were all back at work on Tuesday. So just take the media with a grain of salt. Okay. But I do want to talk about, number one, the hurricanes and what to be prepared for. So lived here my whole life. Hurricanes happen. We live in Montgomery, so we live out. So we don't really, you know, we got wind and rain. I think the reason Beryl was so tough on the outskirts is because it was really fast moving. So usually when it hits the coast, it kind of sits there for a while and then we just get the extra rain. We got a lot of the wind. So yes, you have to be prepared in a hurricane. Most people have some form of a generator. A lot of my clients just have a portable generator. So what that means, I don't have a generator. We only lost power for 24 hours. We are on Mid-South, so we are on a smaller grid out here in Montgomery, and they were really quick to respond. My assistant Megan is on Centerpoint, which is like all of Houston. She had it much worse than me, longer without power. She was actually living on her driveway in her RV, which is funny. But we have Mid-South. I talked to another neighbor. They've lived here 15 years. They've never lost power for more than 24 hours. So think about what power company, not that you pick your house based on that, but I've been very thankful for being on Mid-South this week. However, you do need a generator, or I recommend one. Some people do a whole house generator. I have luxury clients and we did 2 showings this week and the whole house is running. Now, obviously they don't have everything powered on, but their house is cool. The lights are working, their fridge, all those main things. The one thing that kind of threw me off is we have a water well and we live in a newer house. And so the well runs off power. So we didn't have water for 24 hours. And that was a little interesting. So it's good to have, we're going to get a little generator that will power our refrigerator, HVAC, and our well is all we really need. But everybody likes to have some sort of generator just to keep things going in these times of need. However, I would say less than once a year are you going to lose power. So it's not something that is common. I've lived here since 2017. This is the first time besides the one freeze that we've lost power for more than 30 minutes or an hour. So just keep that in mind. It's not as crazy as it always seems. You do want to be prepared for the hurricanes. They do happen. I'm not trying to blow them off. I'm just trying to say that they are not as crazy as the media makes them out to be. Hurricane Harvey was our worst hurricane. My parents lost their house. I mean, it was bad. And so I always tell people, if your house did, and that was more flooding because of all the rain. It was not wind. So if your house didn't flood in 2017 from Hurricane Harvey, chances are pretty good that it's not going to flood. Never say never, but that's the most. I think that was the 1,000-year flood. They had like 50 something inches. So hurricanes, number one. Okay, number two is the surprise of property tax. Now, I've been over this a million times. I have a property tax video here you can watch. They did just make some changes to our property taxes, so everybody's getting $100,000 off their homestead. The over 65 is getting $110,000 off their homestead. But property taxes are high because we don't have a state income tax. So people get confused about this, but like when we lived in Alabama, there was a 5% state income tax. A lot of my clients in California, it's 10 or 12%. So, let's just say, you're making 500,000. That's a lot of money. You're making 500,000. Okay, 10% of that, you're paying 50 grand in state income tax. Then you also have a property tax in California. Here, there's no state income tax. So 99% of the time, it makes more sense for my clients to not pay the state income tax and then deal with the property tax. I just watched another video and the girl said, this is a Houstonian born and raised, and she said in the suburbs that the tax rate on average is 3 to 4%. That is not true. So the city of Houston is around 2.2 or 2.4, but every neighborhood is going to be different. So I live in the suburbs. I live out in Montgomery on an acreage neighborhood. My tax rate is 1.5. 5 minutes from here is Wood Forest. Their tax rate is anywhere from 2.4 to 2.6 right now. It keeps going down. Audubon is another 10 minutes from here, and that neighborhood is at 3%. So it's based on every neighborhood and the status. I live in an old neighborhood, so we don't have mud anymore. We've paid everything off. And what the mud is, I've been over this, is it's a municipal utility district. The developer comes in, they put in the infrastructure, they put in the plumbing and the electrical and all this stuff, and then the residents pay that off over time, which is as it gets paid off, then the rate goes down. Okay, but property taxes can be high. You want to think about it. If it's 3%, 300,000, that's 15,000 a year. Now, again, if you're paying 10% or 12% in California, plus you're also paying your property taxes, I guarantee you're paying a lot more than 15,000, but people get shocked at it, and you want to be aware of what tax you're paying and where you're living. Okay, number three is going to be the extreme heat. So I don't lie about this. July and August are hot, although it's been a lot cooler with the weather and it's been enjoyable to walk in the mornings and evenings. But July and August are hot, so you want to be prepared. It doesn't matter where you are in Texas. Yes, we are a little more humid here, but Dallas can be 105. I've seen actually up in Montana where my in-laws live, it's 98 degrees. My sister lives in New Jersey. It's been 98 degrees. It's hot. So the thing that I like about Texas is most people have pools or have access to a neighborhood pool, or we go play on the lake. So yes, you can get out of the heat, but I don't want you to come here and think it's not hot. It is hot. June, I think, is still more manageable. July and August, I feel like, are the hottest. Mid-September is when it kind of starts breaking. October to May, I think, is wonderful. Just my 2 cents. Okay, so that's the weather to be prepared for. Next one is going to be traffic. So I used to live in the city and the traffic was bad. 59 and I-10 and all those. I used to commute out to Katy for work. I was actually going against the traffic because I was in the city going out, but the traffic can be bad. Out in the suburbs where I'm at in Montgomery, there's only one little area that gets congested, and that is where it says Egypt on the map. I don't know why it says Egypt. There's a road called Honea, Egypt, but the map says Egypt. It's basically 1488 and 2978, and it gets bottlenecked. Now, when I say that, it's 3 or 4 light cycles. So you might wait there 5-10 minutes, during high peak traffic hours. 1488 is getting congested too, but it's not, I-45 can be bad at 5 o'clock, obviously, the big freeways. So it's important that you figure out if you have to commute, you want to know that before you pick your house. A lot of people are working from home or only have to go into the office 2 days a week or can go on off hours. No big deal. But if you have to be at your job at a certain time, like 8 a.m., and you leave at 5 p.m. and you're going into the city, you're gonna be in traffic. So you want to set that up well. I actually had somebody say that they were gonna go to the energy corridor and they were looking in Katy, and I suggested South Tomball Cypress area because I feel like 249 and 290 are more pleasant than I-10. They've been expanded and there's not as many people, but that's just my 2 cents. So figure out your commute times and where you need to be with that, because the traffic can be bad. The next one is Houston is not a walkable city. You're gonna need a car or some sort of transportation. And so there are a few walkable areas. I have several clients and friends that live in the Woodlands, and they live really close to Market Street. They walk to the grocery store, they walk to Market Street. There's a trolley there, which is really cool. So yes, the Woodlands can be walkable, and I would also say the Heights can be walkable. A lot of clients, young families, or single people, or just out of college, choose the Heights. It's a really cool area, very trendy area, lots of old homes. It's not quite as affordable as the suburbs, but it's very walkable with tons of unique restaurants, shops, coffee shops, all the stuff. So the Heights is walkable. And then kind of the Montrose area, or people who live kind of in downtown Houston. I have a client that lives in a high-rise down there. That is more walkable. But out in the suburbs, you're going to need a car or you won't be able to get anywhere. There's not any way around it. So just keep that in mind. It's not necessarily a walkable city. However, things like Wood Forest, you can take your golf cart everywhere. So if you're into the golf cart community, also Woodland Hills, I was out there the other day helping a client, and they are getting a bunch of commercial space. So you will be able to go out there and take your golf cart and go get food and, all the fun stuff. The next one is that there are no zoning laws in the city of Houston. That's crazy to me. However, there are city ordinances of how a property can be used. So you can't buy residential and then all of a sudden turn it into commercial and build a gas station. So they're all zoned a certain way as far as how it can be used, but you can, and this is more in the city, the suburbs, this really doesn't happen. You can have your house and then have a gas station next door. So a lot of people, when I'm buying, we want to be careful, because if there's land behind the house that, we don't have any back neighbors, this is going to be wonderful, and it's owned by a farmer, and then the farmer sells the land to commercial, and then you have a gas station in your backyard. Things we have to think about when we go look at houses. So there is no zoning. There's just every little property, and it can be switched. So if a farmer sells a land and they want to switch it and the city approves it, it can be switched. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop right there. I would love to get to know you. Please comment. That helps me keep my channel going and helps me get it out there to filming. Tell me where you're from. Tell me if there's another video I'd love to see. I'd love to work with you. Reach out anytime. The next one is going to be the bugs. So the funny thing is the mosquitoes. I'm not one of those people that gets eaten by mosquitoes, but my husband is. So he gets bitten a lot when we go out. I don't even feel them. Maybe I'm not as sweet. I don't know. But he gets bitten a lot. But we go to Montana to see my in-laws, and the mosquitoes there are crazy, which is crazy because it's dry there, but they're still there. So do we have bugs? Yes, I get my house sprayed quarterly. I only spray the outside. Very rarely do I see a bug inside, but it does happen. You can spray the inside. I'm kind of a hippie at heart. I don't like all those chemicals inside, so I just have them spray the exterior. If you do live on Lake Conroe, there can be lake bugs. They're just tiny little things that get on your light fixtures that can be annoying, but I don't know. I don't see any more bugs here than anywhere else, but maybe we do. I don't know. We do have roaches. Probably seen 1 or 2 this whole year, but we do have them. So you just have to keep on top of your pest control. I don't think it's a big deal, but if you're freaked out by bugs, then maybe Houston isn't the place for you. Okay, the one thing I've heard and read is high internet. We pay, I think, around $120 a month for our internet. We stream everything. We have kids streaming everything. We do not pay for cable or any sort of dish or anything like that. We just pay for the high internet. I don't don't know how many megabytes, blah, 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 because I'm not into that, but everything streams perfectly, about 120. I've read that some people think our bills are high. I tell people kind of with utility, like on an average house, I would say, I don't know, 80 to 120 in the winter, maybe 250 in the summer for electricity bills. Now, this is not, a 5,000 square foot house. I'm talking probably 2,500 square foot house. Again, those are averages. There are areas where you get to select your electricity company. We are Mid-South. We don't get a choice, but again, I was thankful for Mid-South this week. So it really is going to depend on how much you run your utilities, how cold you like your house. We like our house very cold at night, but I don't know that that's any higher than the next. I've had people say that it is, and I've had some people say that it's not. That's a tough one. Okay, I kind of talked about this before, but the public transportation here is not great. I've actually lived here my whole life and never taken the public transportation. There is a metro rail in downtown Houston. It'll take you from like the med center to the sports center to all the, things downtown. So you have your metro rail, you have your metro bus, but that really does not come out to the suburbs. Funny story, my husband's from a small town. When we first moved here, he was working at Baylor College of Medicine, and he was like, oh, I'll just take the bus. He got on the wrong routes. It was a mess. He didn't love it. So not a huge fan of our public transportation. We do have HOV lanes, which are really cool. So those are lanes where you have usually 2 or more people and you can kind of commute together, and they'll open those lanes up on the freeway during busy traffic time. So a lot of people do carpool, like under 45, there's a parking section. People will park there and carpool into the city together to kind of make it quicker and less cars on the road. But our public transportation is not great and not something I would really rely on. Definitely no public transportation in the suburbs. All right, the last thing I want you to be prepared for are the toll roads. So if you're looking at the city, 610 is our inner loop. Again, that's not a toll, but the Beltway was a toll. I think it was built when I was in high school. We didn't have the Beltway growing up, but it's a toll road, and you're gonna have toll tags, and they will come after you if you don't pay your toll. So it goes in with your license plates, a little tag that goes on your car. If you're getting a rental car to come explore, make sure you talk about the tolls, because you don't want to rack up this huge bill. Most of them include it. You can kind of sign up for it. I would, if you're looking in the suburbs, sign up for it. And then of course we have 99 that goes all the way around the outside. I've heard that going around 99, if you went around the whole loop, would be like driving from Houston to Dallas, which is crazy. It's a huge loop, but the tolls can get expensive. So again, if you're commuting, you want to think about that. I had a family that was going to buy here, but their family was in Sugar Land, so they were going to buy in Sugar Land and then commute to work. And it was going to cost $15 a day just in tolls, because you're hitting that toll booth every, so many miles. So think about your tolls, be prepared for the tolls. I don't go in past 99 because I live in the suburbs and I don't need to. So every suburb's going to have hospitals, Costco, shopping, everything you'd ever need. I don't go past 99, but if you're one of those people that's commuting to work and you need to get on 99 or you need to get on the Beltway, be prepared for tolls. So those are 10 things I wanted you to know about the city of Houston before moving here. Again, reach out anytime. I would love to help you, and I hope you have a blessed day.